As regional season continues and the meta continues to shift, Star Wars Destiny players from all across the world are showing up to events, many for the first time.
We shift our focus to the events themselves and the overall culture of what unspoken elements of the culture exist that new players should be made aware.
We also take a look at the latest regional results and talk about some words on the future of gaming design from one of its designers.
This is episode 118, The Card Game Culture.
You have been well trained.
No. You don't have to carry a sword to be powerful.
I won't fail you.
Oh, do not.
I'm not afraid.
Please don't try.
Generally, instead of drinking a Diet Coke, I probably should be drinking like hot tea or something. That may make me sound better. However, I am not. I am a poor judge on my own personal health. So I'm continuing to spiff a Diet Coke.
I'm having an adult beverage in a Trader Sam's cup.
I like
Nice.
Yeah. That's how we roll over here.
I don't have anything.
You don't have anything?
You probably got something about Star Wars, huh?
It does, yes. The Super Bowl's coming up. Is there something
Not that you're going to like, Mike.
No.
Is something happening during the Super Bowl, Kim? Is that what?
Although, I'm not that excited about the Super Bowl this year because I don't like Tom Brady. He can go suck an egg. But,
Ooh, hot take.
so, I don't know if we'll watch, but they are going to, actually Disney's showing several trailers during the Super Bowl, one of which will be for our beloved Star Wars. And we know how this will be. This will just be scenes that they string together that don't make any sense at all, and then we're going to spend like 2 months speculating and be 100% wrong about everything.
Oh, yeah.
That's how it
You
goes.
think they're even going to show scenes? You know, they're just going to show like the title?
No, I think it'll be like cut, like what we had before, like Finn running through the desert.
Yeah.
And like just those, that it'll be like that.
It'll be like a montage of really high energy stuff.
That none of it goes together at all. Like they don't play, like it'll.
No, because they can't give the story away.
No, heck no.
Or maybe it'll just be a bunch of dramatic stuff. We'll see.
What? Isn't that what they did last time? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of...
Yeah, there was a lot of those noises and stuff.
For the soundtrack that wasn't really a soundtrack?
So I may just keep
Correct.
checking YouTube so that I don't have to watch the Patriots play.
See, look, no spoilers, Kim. The chat agrees with me.
No spoilers.
I never spoil anything for anybody but myself.
True
Correct.
story. And you're really bad at it.
Yep.
Wow. That is a 12-month in a row subscription.
Woo!
Thank you, Kenjo. 1 year.
That's pretty awesome. Thank you so
He
much.
is one dedicated buddy, I'll tell you. I like that guy.
For sure.
I like that guy too.
No matter what I say when he's not in the chat to hear me. Just kidding.
I have some interesting Star Wars stuff
Yeah?
going on. So the voiceover project had kind of been on hiatus, but we geared back up, and I had two really famous, not really famous, but people that have done a lot of voiceover work in my studio recording. So
Sweet.
one guy that's been the voice for like a ton of Power Rangers and like anime and stuff. He was the voice of what was that anime that they just redid into a movie?
It describes every single one of them.
No, it was live action. It's a female lead role.
That has the big eyes?
Ghost in the Shell. It
Or
was
Ghost in the Shell. Yeah.
So he was the original voice of Ghost in the Shell. So like he's
Nice.
yeah, he's
Nice.
pretty famous. And then another one that's done some voiceover work for Disney. So it's pretty cool. I'm kind of starting to work with more like upper echelon voiceover actors, I guess.
That's exciting.
They're like C rated, but I mean, I'm still I'm in the ABC. You know, I'm not down in the D. I'm on the podium now. I'm getting there.
Right?
So it's been really fun. Also, my daughter's got this pretty cool gift. It's a Star Wars book set of 3, and then the lightsaber has like these discs that you put in it, and it projects the image onto the wall. So like while I read the story, it tells you like, okay, go to disc 1, image 1, and then it'll tell you to flip to image 2, and you just kind of spin the disc, and it shows different images on the wall. Like, so basically, I read a book at night, and I show the images on the wall while I read the book to them. So It's like
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool Star Wars thing for parents or with young kids. And then
That's cool.
The lightsaber has like a thing that attaches to the top, so then it's like a little mini lightsaber that they can play with. So it's cool.
That's awesome.
It's like a win-win.
Right?
Yeah. My babysitter's just bought Ray a pork pajama set. Of course, it's like for 2T, so like 2 years out. But I was like, pork pajamas? Yes, please.
Yeah, you got to get them now. They might not be around then.
Exactly. Right? Yep.
The porgs might go extinct in episode 9. JJ's like, I'm gonna fix that part of the canon.
Right. Not my canon. Hey,
awesome.
I want to say what's up to Wes in the chat. What's up, my man? So any other Star Wars stuff, Jason?
Oh no Star Wars. I mean, I live Star Wars every day, so it's hard to like remember what I can actually talk to you guys about.
It's okay if you forget sometimes.
Right. No, I like my job very much.
Yeah, I agree. Well, let's.
I was gonna say you're getting awful close down there to Galaxy's Edge.
Galaxy's Edge is getting very awful close. I'm petitioning real hard to be on the opening team, but we'll see.
You'll get it.
That'd be exciting.
We'll see. Either way, I'll be if not at Galaxy's Edge, I'll be at Launch Bay with all the people who couldn't get into the Galaxy's Edge. Like, sorry, but we have characters that come see them. That's right.
All right. Well, why don't we move on to the news?
Let's do it.
Let me take that back, huh? You'll find what you need.
Well, it was another busy weekend of regionals. I love regional season because there is so much attention on the regionals in terms of coverage. Everybody's reporting their events. The information gets collected out there, and it's so much more so than the store championship season, right? I mean, who knows what won store championships? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to regionals, since there are so few of them and they are usually well attended, we tend to get a lot of information from them. And it's nice to see the meta either evolve from week to week or be so varied regionally, depending on where you're looking at. What is it? A week or two ago, it was nothing but Vader Greedo. That has since started to morph, whether or not people just have stopped playing them because they want something different, or people have learned how to tech against them, which is generally what happens. While Vader Greedo did take a couple this weekend down in Austin and also in Bury St. Edmunds in the UK, a lot of variety was on the winner's circle this weekend across the country. Anything stick out to you guys that you're super pumped about?
Oh, I'm going to say what you're going to say. That's that E Palpatine, baby. Look at that. I love that. In Idaho. 16 players still, though. That's a good showing. You still got to get through the day. 16 players, what's that? 5 rounds? 5?
I think so.
5 or 7, something. Anyways, but that's still a long day to play Palpatine, which is a very strategic deck, and you got to play that deck like seamlessly to be able to win, especially like runner-up Vader Greedo.
That was a tough day. That's
just like a who's faster at that point, and looks like Palpatine took it. So very cool. Also, again, Vader Greedo up in Canada. 45 players. That's a big takedown. And then runner. Oh, did you get that backwards? Runner up Vader Greedo finalist Tarkin Snoke, or was it supposed to be winner?
Who knows?
Okay. Well, the way it's written, Vader Greedo won and Tarkin Snoke runner up. Either way, that's the final table, and that's very strong. And that's 45 players.
Yeah, I did. That was a typo on my part.
So, yeah, good weekend. Definitely a lot of variety. Maryland's interesting. The last table was both Snoke, Sienna, Rebel Trader. I wonder if those two are like play partners.
I believe Arrowbrook Gaming just put out information about this. I'm pretty sure it's their play group that was testing this pairing out and took this one to the win. That's the same group that took down the U.S. Nationals with the Afro Snoke Battle Droid.
Oh, okay.
Deck, and they all tech very well together. Do a lot of play testing. They play tested this a lot against Vader Greedo, and they did really well. You know, it's cool to see teams come out and do that. Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's bad. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I also, Mill made another showing down in Miami. That is Andrew Cox brought his Yoda, Cassie, and Anakin deck again and was able to take down a Miami field of 33 players, which actually surprises me for Florida. I thought Florida would have a larger turnout. And I don't know if it was just the timing or the location. I mean, Miami is not like centralized Florida.
Right.
I'm still shocked that Orlando doesn't get the regional for Florida, but that's just me being bitter. And then still some mill action in Denmark. Yoda Leia came back with Taking Ground. That was a deck that did very well last week, and still able to hold its own. So, Mill is not taking over, but Mill's winning almost 20% of the events.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. Woo. Sorry, kids. I'm struggling technology-wise tonight.
I enjoyed the sound effect, though.
That's also interesting in Denmark, the runner-up, Plo Koon Padawan.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember, because I believe that's the regional that Your Destiny was at.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Mads and Claus were both in top 4. Mads lost, and I think I read that Claus scooped to a teammate.
Mm. You don't know what he played, though?
I can probably find it really quick.
So Plo Koon Padawan means that the first upgrade on Plo Koon is 2 cheaper.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because he absorbs both the Padawan's abilities.
Mm-hmm.
That's really clever on a resource curve. And we are in a meta where you either figure out how to make things really cheap really fast, or you figure out how to get a lot of resources really fast. And that's the way you ramp, because that's the only way to win.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's pretty impressive.
And 2-drops there's plenty of 2-drops to play. And then even 4-drop for, on your first turn is pretty crazy. So you might just be drawing for those big upgrades right away with that deck. Sure. I'd be interested to see a write-up on that.
And I'm sure we will see one if it's from Denmark. Your Destiny group is always great about getting us reports from those events and deck checks and all those things.
Definitely.
That's exactly what I'm looking at now to see what was played. So they have a nice review of the regional up already.
Excellent. So again, an amazing weekend of regionals. If you've got a regional coming up, certainly get out and play. If you're newer to Star Wars Destiny, this is actually the show for you, because we're going to talk a little bit about going to an event, especially an event of this caliber, and what you can expect, and things that you should know before going, so you don't feel like you're out of place, because that's never a good feeling. And I mean, again, you can see all these, and these are always great, fun events. I get to see the top local players, and then the bottom tables always, I think, have a lot of fun just playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't go with the intent of winning. Go with the intent of playing some really good players.
Just having a good time.
Hanging out with some people. And stick around for the top 8, because you can usually make some new friends, get a lot of good conversation, and learn a lot of Destiny by watching those games, for sure.
Hey, real quick, I want to thank Wes for the sub. Thanks, man.
For sure. Thank you, Wes. Secondly, or nextly, or lastly, or however you want to put it. Finally, Final Fantasy. Lord, I've been watching too much Twitch. Fantasy Flight Games. Well,
those guys.
Kingdom Hearts 3 just came out, so I'm like already.
Yeah.
Not like I'm playing it because I don't have a PS4. If anybody wants to donate one my way, that's fine.
We have one, but it's not coming to your house. Sorry, buddy.
Man. FFG released an article on gaming resolutions as part of their designer game designs series, where they get the designers of the game to talk about whatever. Funny that gaming resolutions, which is like New Year's resolutions, came out like at the end of January, but whatever. Their spokesperson for these for Destiny almost always is Aaron Haltom, who is one of the designers on the team, on Jeremy's team. Whether that's because Jeremy doesn't have as much time, is less of a verbal person than maybe some of his teammates, or you never know if Aaron's being groomed to be passed on Destiny in the future. But it was interesting hearing Aaron talk about set 10, right? They're here already looking to the next base set after convergence, and what's next for the game. His resolutions, of course, stating that he wants to push the envelope of the game, adding even new play styles that are beyond. They've added plots, they've added new symbols, they've added downgrades and the tribal mechanics in the next block. But in set 10, he wants to shake it up even more. And who knows what that means? I still want a Death Star. And so pretty excited to hear that. As also as talking about new play styles. And it's nice. I love it when FFG recognizes where the meta is at and is fairly accurate, right? So he's saying most of the decks currently fall under either aggressively, whether they're very aggressive decks or they're vehicles. Those are the two big deck types out there right now. And he wants to make mill and control and combo decks and mid-range decks all viable. And as well as perhaps even opening up a new archetype. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So take that for what you will.
What they're hinting at. I mean,
yeah. So wait, can we describe the tribal mechanics?
Yeah, I wasn't sure that I understood what they meant by that.
Yeah. Do you?
Anybody else got any thoughts on that?
I'm trying to remember the spoilers from Convergence if there was anything really specific, and I'm wondering if it's something we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's a spoiler in itself right there.
Monk is saying the trooper keyword, so talking about keywords that are like keywords. So things.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Part of a tribe, part of a group of scoundrel leader. Yep.
I feel like that wasn't the best way to word that. I don't know. I didn't understand that. Huh. Tribal mechanics. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I feel like they were trying to do that in the beginning or hinting at that from the beginning with the titles they were putting on certain people or, stuff they did like with battle droids. So, I'm excited to see that mechanic come to play, and we'll get a lot more stuff with stormtroopers and teams.
Jedi Masters and benefits for stacking things on certain things. Yeah.
Right.
And, for some people, that'll actually make deck building easier because they can look for a certain thing and they can figure out, okay, this is a thread that works really well together. It's going to be the expert deck techers that are really going to find the most optimum combos that make those types of decks work. And hopefully they work really well. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in Convergence. And obviously Aaron's already thinking about how to push the game envelope well beyond what we can even imagine a year from now. Super exciting.
Still.
That's exciting. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's any last words on the news?
I don't think I saw. I'm trying to think if there's anything else out there that I saw this week. I don't think so.
I saw like some pictures of the play kits like in like a cardboard box. It was like a really shaky picture.
I do remember seeing that, yeah.
I think Monk might have posted it or commented on it. Maybe he knows more. I also saw a picture that Monk posted of that new spot gloss, or I guess it's called spot gloss.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. The new spot, that Vader spot gloss is really nice.
That is going to be that's going to be highly desirable.
Mm-hmm. I hope that by lowering the cost of tickets it takes to get these cards, there'll be more in circulation and there'll be less of this crazy like price hikes. Right. And all this stuff. The secondary market on some of this stuff is ridiculous.
And I think that might be FFG's way to try to but Steve did say from Cascade that they were doing some of that based on feedback they had, just that people weren't getting as many of the cards, they weren't sticking around at events. So this is probably one step was to get people to stay at the events longer, and two is probably, I would think, to some degree to knock down that secondary market a little bit.
Hopefully.
I apologize for the lag, you guys. I've turned everything else off, and it's still not catching up with itself.
It's fine. They don't need to hear the words right when your mouth opens. It's fine. All right.
I do.
All right.
I'm my own Japanese movie.
That's racist. Oh, apology corner real quick. I'd have to take a minute to apologize to all our fans in Michigan. I got a lot of hate after my talk last week about how cold it was and about no one wanted to go there for any reason.
You did, really?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Michigan over Minnesota? Like, Minnesota people are so nice, though, so they probably wouldn't beat you up.
It was, yeah, they have ice fishing. They have some downhill skiing. They have a lot of stuff that you can do there.
Mike has been educated.
I
appreciate
told.
it, you guys.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was, it was fun reading some of the emails, some of the conversations I had with people. All right, anyways, let's move on to the show topic, huh? But first, a word from our sponsor.
You know, Mike, I just can't seem to get the cards I need in the booster packs I've bought. I'm still missing a Mother Talzin, a Darth Maul, and I need some more battle droids. That 5-wide droid deck isn't going to build itself, and I have all these extra Yodas.
Seriously, Kim, I told you, check out Armada Games. You can buy and sell Destiny cards on their website, shoparmada.com. It's just a few simple clicks and bam, you are done. I used it just the other day, and now I got two Maul Sabers heading my way.
Hey, what are you guys talking about? We're in the middle of a break here.
Jason, you know how you've got all those extra cards from all those booster boxes you open? Mike says you can sell them online super easy.
No way, seriously? How? I've got to make room before this next set comes out.
Jason, whether you're new to the game or a seasoned vet, Armada Games has just what you're looking for. You can buy and sell your Destiny singles all from the comfort of your living room. Pre-order the latest sets of boosters and find the droids you are looking for. You can also check out their selection of Destiny accessories. And you'll get free shipping on orders over $75. For an even better deal, be sure to use the coupon code TheChanceCube and receive 5% off your Destiny purchase. Visit their website at shoparmada.com. Armada Games. Get in here and game.
But you know what I always say. Speak softly and drive a big tank.
It's been really wonderful seeing all the posts on the Facebook page for Star Wars Destiny of new players jumping into the game.
Yeah.
Whether they got their 2-player starter sets, they saw the game and played at the local shop, they picked something up. I feel like Star Wars Destiny is one of those games that can get you into this world of card gaming. It can be a gateway drug for the rest of this kind of collectible gaming world. So I thought we'd take a minute and talk about, you just bought into Star Wars Destiny. Now what? What does it mean for you? What do you need to have? And
direct deposit to your FLGS.
More packs. Just be quiet.
Might want to just
and get me
go
more
ahead
packs.
and set that up.
Yeah, that's all. I need the CCG crack. I need those booster packs. It should be a shirt. That's a good rhyme there.
You guys are funny.
Right here first.
So, of course, all the things that you don't really want to be found without, things that you will make you feel like you're part of the community because you knew about them going into it. And what that first event, what those unspoken rules that an event is like. I think we've talked about it before, but it's always good to rehash those ideas for new players who are just coming into this game and who don't want to go back to episode 27 to hear us talk about it again. I'm not sure what episode it was. It might be 27.
I was like, I'm impressed.
No, I'm not that good. I don't know what we talked about last week. You kidding me? So, of course, you just bought the game. I would say, and this is not a requirement. I don't know who's going to judge you, but they may slightly. You got the game at Target, right? So maybe you got the 2-player starter set. What should people have before they take this game to their local game shop so they feel like they're like everybody else? Not to say you have to be like everybody else, but like you showed up and you're like, ugh, I feel silly because I don't have X, Y, and Z.
We'll start with playmats. You gotta have a playmat. I know there's some players that don't play on playmats, but they're weird.
What are you trying to say?
Hey, hot take again. I'm gonna get a bunch of hate mail this week.
I've like forgotten mine, and you feel weird. Like when everybody else at the table. Plus, it actually makes for, as silly as it sounds, but as you're rotating around to get up and move, it is, it's its own little carrying package. Like I think all of us do it. We kind of go whoop and move your stuff down.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a playmat, now you're that part. You're like this and carrying everything around. And I would have to agree. I have more playmats than mine aren't as cool as Mike's as being Star Wars Destiny related, but
this is probably my favorite one, I think.
I have the Store Champ, or I have the one that Top 4. That one's cool. I don't have any of those. I have the one from this year from Top 4 Store Champs.
Cool.
Phasma win, Matt.
I like that Phasma mat. And then I have my Han one, and I have a new one that I'm going to order, but it is not Star Wars related, so I guess that one doesn't count.
Are you ordering it from inkedgaming.com?
I am.
Shout out to Ink Gaming. That's one place where you can buy custom mats. You can put your own art on there. You can buy someone else's art that they put on it that they want to sell the mats. They have tons of pre-made mats. That's a cool spot to go to get play mats.
Now you can buy, like FFG sells a Star Wars Destiny 2-player playmat, but they don't sell a single-player one. All those are prizes at Store Champ level and up events that are out there. So I'm sure a lot of people make their own. They have their own favorite Star Wars design. I know my wife plays on an Ewok playmat, which is basically just a scene from the film that we pulled out and put on a playmat.
Cool.
Or you can always reach out to your favorite podcasting group. I'm sure has one. We don't. Do we sell ours? We do sell ours. I think we have one on Ink Gaming for sale. I'm not 100% sure actually if that's still there.
The art's still there. I think you can still get it.
But yeah, most of the groups have one, which is you can get the design from them and order one or whatever. Or your store may sell extra ones that they have. I know our FLGLS does have a couple that they're like resell of some of those.
That's cool. I mean, you can go in for the plain old boring. You can go for the plain old boring solid color ones that I think it's Ultra Pro. We keep a few of those around just for casual game,
Yeah, for sure. I would have to say the next step, if you don't feel kind of like, ooh, I didn't know about that, card sleeves.
And I have learned just in the past, 2 weeks, that I am more picky about card sleeves than I thought I was. Like
Dragon Shields are the only sleeves.
Yep. And I didn't know I felt that way until we were at a shop and we were playing another game that I shall not mention, and we needed card sleeves for it. And that particular shop doesn't carry Dragon Shields. And so I had to buy the FFG sleeves. Sorry guys, they're not even close. I'm sorry, nice. FFG. They look okay, but they just don't have that same feel to them. That quality feel that Dragon Shield. Now, they were significantly more reasonably priced. Dragon Shields, I don't think, are overly expensive, but they are more expensive.
No, they're not that expensive.
Then, and I think Jason makes a good point that you have to make sure that you get them dark enough. So you're going to get that darker color, or what is that? What is that make of theirs? Is it the matte or is it the?
It's matte. So it's got like a texture on the back. And then, so it's opaque enough that you can't see. Is that the proper word? Am I using that right? Yeah, it's opaque enough so where you can't see any markings on the back of the card. Because if you have any markings, you can see any markings on the back of your card, they'll make you change your sleeves in a competitive format. Casual, not so much.
Yeah.
Don't buy clear sleeves.
You make a good point with that, Mike, though. Like, so if you are going to an event, to have your deck sleeved, but have extra sleeves in case something happens to one. It rips, it breaks, it falls off, and the dog eats it. I don't know. But whatever. Make sure you have extras, just in case. And isn't it, you need 2 different colors, right? Because your characters need to be, yep, go ahead.
That's what I was going to mention, is your battlefield and your characters need to be in a different color than the rest of your draw deck. For competitive play.
I'm pretty sure I have that same color of Dragon Shields, Mike.
This is the mint.
Oh, maybe I don't. Yeah, I have the.
I think
because some of them are really cool names.
I think I have like
mine is petroleum. 20. I have the petroleum colored ones.
Nice. I got petroleum as well.
That sounds like gas.
You would think it would be,
Petrol.
but it's actually it's petrol. Yeah, it's like a greenish color, which is kind of cool.
Oh, double sleeves? That's controversial.
That's hardcore, man.
I used to double sleeve until I changed decks so often that I had to take them out of the sleeve, and it was just... And
it's a lot of work.
If you double sleeve them the proper way, where you put the top in when you slide it in so that it's like top to bottom, there's like no way that liquid's going to get down into that card. They like create a lot of air pocket, and it's a pain. It's a commitment. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, with the last set I started double sleeving, KMC Perfect Fits, and then Dragon Shields usually work pretty well. KMC matte ones work well too. I've actually done them inside FFG sleeves. To each their own.
KMC Perfect Fits again are the only choice for double sleeving, I would say, and KMC mats are like I think they're like the same caliber as Dragon Shield. They're a high quality sleeve. I would definitely recommend them.
I will say, if you're like, oh, card sleeves, I'll just, I'm not that committed. I'll just get whatever, so I don't feel like I'm left out. You might as well bring naked cards instead of doing penny sleeves. Like, you get the $1 for 100 sleeves, Ultra Pro penny sleeves. People will look at you, will judge you even harder than not having sleeves at all.
True. That is true.
I would say if you have a Play Mountain card sleeves, you're good to go for your first event. I mean, that's pretty solid. A lot of people bring the tokens that come with the game. However, there are plenty of other tokens out there that are compatible with this game. Broken Token makes some great ones. Curled Paw, Team Covenant.
The Chance Cube.
The Chance Cube makes some great tokens.
You can find those on Etsy.
Both that are at our vendors over at Etsy. Teehee Game Loot, they make some great tokens.
Teehee Game Loot has some great tokens.
So
those are the ones that I use often.
These are Curled Paw tokens. These are my.
Those are pretty nice.
These are my favorite. They have like the big old tokens for money, and then I also have the FFG ones that you get when you win, like weeklies or.
I don't have any of those, Mike.
Sorry, I don't know what to tell you. But the cardboard ones work great, and if you forget your tokens, I guarantee that a seasoned player has a bag of cardboard ones in his bag of Destiny stuff. Almost all the time. I carry one because it's just there's always somebody that forgot.
You never know if you're going to run out.
Oh yeah, or
some of those token sets aren't a ton. Like, you're not getting a ton of them, so you could play a game that you need more of them.
You almost always have to buy like double money if like you're playing like a Jabba deck or something where it's going to make a ton of resources. So, because the 4 or 5 they give you is not enough. You're like stacking like 8 resources at a time.
Yeah, right.
For sure. So I would say that feels pretty sufficient for your first event, having those things. If you were new to the card gaming scene, you walked into your first event, what would the one advice you would give them? Something that you wish someone had told you before you went to your first event, in terms of whether it's etiquette or ethics or something about playing card games with other people, especially at a structured event. It doesn't have to be very competitive, but like your local weekly or whatever.
Like you already made it there. You got to the event.
You're there. You're there.
Okay.
You're sitting across from your opponents. What things do you need to know? That's perhaps unspoken or not talked about very much.
I mean, it's hard to say, but like, don't be nervous. It's just a game.
Yeah, it's just a game.
Most importantly, over everything, just try and have fun. There is no need to cheat to win. There is no need to get upset or flip the table, or if you got a bad play or you got beat down, take it like a man or a woman and just congratulate your opponent and move on to your next game. It's just a game. That's like the number one thing I think all new players should know is it's not that important.
Well, because you can get discouraged, right? If you come in and you're playing against people who have played this since set 1, they're gonna be better at this than you are. Chances are. unless you're one of those people who I have met who just pick up a CCG and go splatter everybody with it. But chances are they're going to be better at this than you are. And that's okay. Like, it's going to take you a few times to get this under your belt and to understand the game. And there's always going to be somebody who takes this game more seriously than you do.
Mm-hmm. And I've sat down across from somebody and I've been playing since set 1, and they're like, "Oh, I picked up the game like 2 months ago or 2 weeks ago," and they smack me all over the floor. Like, it can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's even more discouraging. But you just congratulate him for being, for getting a win. Maybe that's his only win of the day, and the only win he got, the dude got all upset. Like, that's like a sour taste. So, yeah, it's not that serious.
For sure. So I think it's important to talk about some of the unspoken etiquette that comes typical with any customizable card game, things you may not be familiar with. Going into an event, especially if you're playing against people you don't know personally, it's always good to remember you're sitting down for your game, you shuffle your deck before your game. Whether it's written into the official rules or not, you should always offer your deck to your opponent to cut. It's just a courtesy to do it at all times. And it can feel a little weird to start with, but I also have to say that's the only time you really your opponent ever touches your stuff,
unless it's your battlefield.
Right. This game, it's depending on the player. Some people get weird if you touch their cards. Like, if you want to read a card, always ask. And there's never any harm in asking to read a card from your opponent's table, but don't reach over and grab it. Don't reach over and grab their dice. Don't fix their board. You can point out things all day long, but there are some people who might get offended or might get a little upset if you do that. But offering your deck to your opponent to get it to cut is always recommended and in some cases required. I think it may be written into FFG's tournament rules, but I'm not 100% sure.
I feel like it is, because I just had this conversation this week, and I thought that the end result was yes, it is in there. The chat will correct us if we are incorrect.
For sure.
If your opponent doesn't offer their deck to be cut, maybe assume that something is fishy. You don't play too many people that won't offer their deck for cutting unless they're really new and they don't know, or they're trying to hide something. I mean, we just saw proof of that on stream.
Yeah.
So.
And I've forgotten, and usually I'll catch myself like, oh, I forgot, and then I will offer then. Like I'll, even if I have to be like, go ahead and cut if you want, because you're talking. Sometimes it's just a casual game, and you're chatting with the person, and you're just doing stuff. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to. It's never I don't do it every single time, but occasionally I will. And usually when they offer, like, oh, yep, here you go. Like, it's okay to back up and still do that.
Yeah. Now, Mike in the chat said, not touching your opponent's dice. That feels weird. So just don't touch them.
Discard don't touch my stuff.
Now, it's funny, this game, discard pile is fair game, right? So the more competitive you get, the more you start to learn metas, the more you start to understand deck builds, the more you're going to want to go through your opponent's discard pile to see if they've used the 2 of whatever card that you think you're worried about. I still think it's polite to ask for it.
Yeah, I would prefer you ask me. Don't just reach over there and grab that, because somebody could look as though you're trying to move their their actual draw deck, or you could if you're not careful, you could bump and die. And
yeah, I think it's always nice to be handed.
Yeah, ask me and I will hand it to you.
Ask me and you will get the world. Tell me and I will throw it at you in your face.
I'll give you some sarcasm, some sassy sarcasm back.
Sassy sarcasm.
Yeah. So real quick, even if you're fixing someone, or even if you've blanked someone's die, or you've disrupted a resource, or you've removed a die, don't do it. Tell them what you want to have done, and wait for them to do it, and then move on to your next step. Don't reach over the table. There's just no reason to.
For sure.
So the first you should go is shaking hands at the end or at the beginning.
Oh yeah, you always,
That's the furthest you should reach across the table. I feel.
Good luck, shake a hand.
And Impulse has a good point. A lot of these kind of rules and guidelines and ethics and protocols stems from different card games that may be much more competitive because there's cash on the line, and these are kind of a way to force those people to be nice to each other. So sometimes you will get the more handsy players, and they may have that kind of background in those competitive card games, where they may be a little more cutthroat just by nature of who they are as a player. It's nothing bad. It's just something you have to be aware of and look out for. Of course, hopefully, you go to your first event, you're not going to find someone like that, especially if they know it's your first event, right? If they know you're the first time there, they're going to help you through it. I can tell you how many games I've lost because I've not made the optimal play because I feel bad about doing so against a new player.
Yeah, that's always a tough one.
I was like, oh, but okay.
Or when you
I had
play
that happen
against
in a
kids or
tournament.
something.
Nah, those kids got to learn, man. We're already too gentle on them, giving them participation trophies and crap.
Relax, Kim.
I'm just kidding. I had that happen in a tournament, though, that I was playing against someone, and he was so nice and wonderful. And the one time ever, my dice were hot and actually rolling really well. And so
when was this? What was the date? Did you write it down?
It was a long time. It was like the Awakening set. I might have been. I think I was playing Vader 9s, so it's been a while.
Oh wow.
And I felt awful, like, because I don't want to get the tarnation beaten out of me, and I don't like doing that to somebody else either. I want it. If I play, I like it better if it's a close match. Like, I don't like it when you're just whopping like.
For sure.
Any other unspoken rules?
I mean, I think those are the big ones. Always being nice and courteous is just, being a good human being. Oh, Kim's got one.
Be on time when it's time to start playing your match again. Like, you may end your game and have a few minutes before the next round starts. That does not mean wander off to the other side of the store. Because if you're too late getting back to your seat, you could potentially be disqualified. So make sure you're aware of the time. I guess that's probably the better way to say it. Make sure you're aware of the time. And even while you're playing, make sure you're aware of time in the round so that you're paying attention to how much longer do we have before this could get called for time and damage. So you're making the right decisions. But also make sure you're courteous to that opponent, that you're back and ready to play, so that it's not 2 seconds before they're starting and you're just sitting down, shuffling your deck and stuff like that.
And just be on time to the event in general. How many times?
I mean, I get that it happens. Like, sometimes you got to run all the way. Like, where my store is, sometimes you got to run way far down to get food or something. I get that sometimes it happens, but
I'm saying, like, when the event is, like, starting, period.
Yeah.
Like, be there early for registration. Don't, like, how many times have you been at an event and, like, you're, like, calling your friend, like, hey, where are you? Oh, or call this guy. He knows this guy's coming. Is this guy almost here? Or can we just start? Is he not showing up? Like, and if you're not going to come, if you prepaid and you're not going to show up, at least let somebody know so that we're not waiting on you.
Right.
I've TO'd tons of events where we're just waiting on people to show up that prepaid, or they said they're on their way. It's just...
And then they stop and get food, and the entire event is waiting on them. Yeah. I've been there. I was not that person. I run late to a lot of stuff, but I'm generally... Like, unless I'm leaving out of work, and then I give somebody a heads up, hey, I'm leaving, I'm going to get there at like 10 after, so go ahead and start. If I have to take I look at it as if I'm there late, then they have every right to give me like a loss for the first game. If I'm not there when it starts.
Yeah, I agree. Do you want to add impulse?
I think that's a good point. I don't want to look negatively on people, because I think in general, every Star Wars Destiny player and the majority of the community is wonderful. You would hate to be in an event where someone may take advantage of your noviceness, your newness to the game, and either tell you something wrong or steer you in the wrong direction. Now, if you feel like you're not really sure about something in the middle of a game, especially a structured competitive event, maybe where there are prizes on the line, don't be afraid to call the judge over. There's always going to be somebody identified as the rule monger for the event. Call them over and ask them clarifying questions. trust but verify, I think is the best way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
You can trust what your opponent is saying, but always feel like you can verify it.
Yeah, because 25 minutes is a long time. You have a long time to play your round.
Yeah.
So take your time, ask questions, read cards, think about your plays. Yeah.
The game keeps getting faster and faster.
Totally agree.
So
just because you can play through a round a lot faster, there's still that much time in the round. They're not making the rounds any shorter time-wise.
Right. For sure. I mean, I think that about sums it up. I'm really excited there's so many new players out there coming into the game for the first time. I do feel like FFG is on the right track when in terms of getting ready to start doing better about promoting the casual weekly play sessions, more casual tournaments at your local shop with these new prize kits. Get out there, play, bring a play mat, bring some card sleeves. If you don't have those, buy them at your local game shop. Unless you really want something custom for gaming, your local game shop's going to have both those things and help support them, because I'm sure they make way more money on accessories than they do, on products at sometimes.
Yeah.
Probably. So, real quick, let's go over like the bonus items that you could get, the swag, the accessories that you don't need.
The things you don't need, but we all spend money on.
That I have all of them. I took them all out so I could show them off.
He's like, I'm gonna show them off. Gosh darn it!
I got stuff. All right.
He's got some swag.
So, real quick, we got dice boxes. Like, these are cool.
Oh, he's got that cool Worlds ones.
Yeah. So this will hold your deck and all your dice. It holds 2 decks and all the dice for both decks, which is pretty nice. It's a nice little container. You can take it. I kind of stand it up next to me so it blocks my dice so people can't see it.
That's good.
Because I'm really, I'm meta for sure.
Well, and you're right. There's a widespread in the cost for those too, right? So you can pick up a $6 Ultra Pro. Maybe
there's like
maybe
ton of them over here.
6 to 10, because like I use one that has enough room to hold my dice and my deck. I'll be honest, I'm a bigger fan of Ultimate Guard than I am the Ultra Pro ones, because they're a lot sturdier.
Yeah.
So depending upon how if you're gonna just throw it in the bag and carry it around, you may want to get a higher quality deck box. Now I have a bag that it goes in. I like that comment in the chat.
Yeah.
Talking about, but I don't think I have it up here. My Pirate Labs bag, I can't get to where I see it, but I can't get to it. I have a bag that will hold 4 or 5 decks, and it's about yay big, and it has a strap, and I take that to events a lot.
Nice. We also got binders. For your
card binders.
Card binders from quality produced.
So these ones
individuals.
Are monster protectors. They sell these at my local store.
Those are pretty good.
They're way cheaper than the Ultra Pro and the Ultimate Guard ones, and nice. I really like them. The quality's really good. They're very sturdy. This is like the double size one. It's got like 2 pages.
Yeah, okay,
it's huge.
Yeah.
So I can fit like 3 sets in here, solid.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, this thing.
That's nice.
I had to find this one on Amazon. They didn't sell this one in the store. But
you're not going to use the ones that's got plastic on the inside for your dice?
No. I'm not buying that FFG stuff. We got cardboard boxes. These are the shoe boxes. These are These are like everything that doesn't make it to the binder, all my extras of commons and stuff.
All your commons, yep.
And then
myself.
On the front, I write what release it is, and I draw the little symbol. That way, I can easily find that.
That's a good idea, honestly, because otherwise, you're like, which box is this in? Yeah.
Yeah. So I got one for each set.
Nice.
We got storage.
I need to pick some of those up, actually.
We got storage for our tokens.
Is that looks like a custom piece from Etsy?
This is So you can get tons of this stuff on Etsy. This is
there's a lot.
When Outflank Games, you can't see it. They did the regional last year. Oh no, 2017 NorCal regional.
Oh yeah.
They made these boxes for everybody with the set of tokens inside. They're
Nice.
pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
there's some nice deck boxes on Etsy that are made out of that material as well. I have somebody made me like a Star Wars looking dice bag, so that
Nice.
gets used a lot for the tokens and stuff like that when I'm.
So, and then we got dice towers. Makes it easier to roll your dice. This is by the
Geeks
guys
First
over at
has
Geeks. Yeah, this is Geeks First.
Yeah, they have a great. That looks
Yeah.
like that's one because it's tiny enough to sit on the table and not take up space.
Yeah, but it fits the dice.
Enough to get those chunky dice in there. I like that one a lot.
This one, and
I've almost bought it. I don't know how many times.
small enough to throw in the bag, and you got it. I don't use it a ton, but it's nice to have.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing.
Look at the man go.
He's got the whole show and tell. I like it.
I think my dice storage solution is different than his, but I'm gonna wait and see what he pulls out of.
I didn't. Dice storage is far away.
Mine's all the way downstairs.
So what you can also do, they have these dice, or they have these dice trays for rolling in that are made out of the same material as a playmat, and they snap on the corner and they fold into a square, but then they also can go around your playmat to hold your playmat closed. So they're nice. It's I don't know.
We have
digging
some
all over
chance
the
cute
place.
ones of those too, or we have at some point. There's some of those in the wild.
They're
Yeah, they're
floating out
floating.
there in the world.
Yeah. But
Now, no, you were talking about dice storage. So I went. I've seen them in different stores. We got ours at Meijer. That's just a store around here. And they're online, but they're actually 4x6 or 5x7 photo boxes that clip close, and then they sit inside a container that will carry all of them. And we've been able to fit. We're almost out of it. We've been able to fit all of our dice in that. So you can either do them by color, you can do them by set, you can do them by whatever.
That's
so it's taking up about this much.
That's a nicer way to do it. Your way of storing it, you can see all the dice. For
Yes,
me,
it's all clear.
I got like one of those big Milwaukee storage kind of containers, got a clear top, and they have like little dividers inside, and then you just fill the cups up with like whatever you by villain, upgrade, character dice, whatever. And then on the top, I just put what is that damn machine where you type the letters in and it prints a little tape out?
A label maker?
Yeah, that's the word I'm
Yeah, I
looking
was
for.
like, what else do you call it? I couldn't think of
don't
it either,
know.
Mike. Don't feel bad.
The Brother P-Touch label maker.
Yes.
So
Yeah, P-Touch.
yeah,
Yep.
so you just make little labels and then put it on, and then you can easily find your dice. That's what I've been using.
Nice.
I got 2 of those now though, and I'm probably gonna need a third pretty quick here.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Yeah, I got some foam from Battle Foam, but I've recently decided to start transitioning to. There's a box that someone sells on Etsy that's like individual squares for the dice, which I really like. But it takes me 2 boxes for a set because I have to put me and Sarah's set in there.
Mm-hmm.
and it's this material.
Yeah,
it's
we
like
have that problem,
balsa
too.
material.
Oh no, it's like the cardboard box material, but it's got 2 layers of foam, like actual foam protection in them.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh,
So it's like miniatures foam, but cut out for dice size.
you'll have to
It's
post
cool. I'll
that
send you a
somewhere.
picture. Yeah.
That brand that you have has a nice little bag that you can put your dice in, and you can put a deck in too.
Oh, the
I've-
Athelder.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love those. Like, I've never gotten one. I've almost gotten one, and I just never have. But
That's like world class, top notch players.
Yeah,
that's why I don't have one.
or impulse.
But I do like if you're somebody that does take like a lot of decks with you, I would say either one of those one of the larger Ultimate Guard deck boxes that you can put several decks in and a play mat, and then it magnetizes closed, or the Pirate Labs bag, because it will. I have the smaller size. There's a much larger size that I see Magic players and stuff use a lot, and it'll carry a ton of stuff, and it has a spot for your. You can attach a play mat to the bottom of that too.
Oh,
And
cool.
if you think all this is
They have a
crazy,
book bag too.
just be glad that you're playing a card game where all you really have to do is play a mat and a deck and some dice.
But go to an event and you'll like, man, carrying all like you just want something to stick it all in so that it has one home as you get up and move around, because you get up and move around a ton.
Just remember, there are games out there that you have to bring your entire house to play. So
I saw one of those this week. There was a guy that I don't know what they were playing in the other room, but he carried an entire like huge tote, and I'm like, it might be too much for me. Like, maybe if it was like a wheeled, although I've seen Jason do this and someone else I know too, carry their Destiny collection in luggage with wheels.
Wait a minute. Was my streaming stuff inside too? Because that's a big.
Yeah. That's
all I remember you said was this is the Destiny stuff, and that was at Nationals.
Yeah, that had all the streaming stuff in it too. Calm down.
Sure, it did. That's not how he explained it, you guys. He said this was Destiny and the thing. Anyway, but somebody else I know has carry-on sized and drags it around. Maybe then, but like this dude had a full-on. You could fit 2 small children in their size tote carrying it around the game store.
I mean, there's Warhammer, there's what is that? Star Wars.
Even
Legion,
X-Wing takes
X-Wing,
up a ton
Armada.
of. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, I've got.
The list goes on.
I have. Yeah, my husband has several bags of X-Wing and Armada and other games like that.
Well,
we're running out of space.
We just have dice and cards.
Yes.
On top of all the board games I have taking up space, but.
Well, to wrap this up, if you're a new player out there, you need some advice on what to do next, feel free to reach out to us, contact@thechansecube.com. We'd be happy to chat, talk more about the best setup for you. We've probably tried every accessory in the book between the 3 of us, plus the rest of the Chance Cube family. I'm sure I've got the rest of everything else covered. So let us know. And before we keep running on too long, let's go ahead and talk about our question of the week.
There can be no mistakes this time.
All right, kiddos, you had a much better showing this week on the question of the week than you did in the week prior. So thank you for that. We really like seeing all those over there, and it's fun to have more answers and just more dialogue about it. So keep it up. Very cool. And I'm really glad that this week I didn't have to write this one. If you're fairly new to the show, I was on a crazy whirlwind where I would write all these, and this one would have been a toughie. But so we ask, what cards from Awakenings do you think are undervalued in the current state of the game? So we'll come back to Rowan's because that's the one that's really long. John Benjamin mentioned Binds All Things, and I do think that was a big card for a while.
It comes and goes. I feel like the last meta it did really well, but from this run.
Sorry.
Zachary Shields says Deflect, Force Throw, and Reversal have high value in the current Vader Shadowcast meta.
That's true.
Very true.
I mean, Deflect came back in full force with the villain stuff, so I'm not sure it's undervalued. It may be undervalued by some still. Force Throw, I'd love to see more Force Throw.
Yeah, I never play Force Throw. It's
not
expensive
anymore.
for what it is.
Do either one of you know Reversal off the top of your head?
No, but I can look it up.
No.
I can have it in less than 30 seconds. Neutral, yellow, cost 3. Spot a yellow character to remove a die showing damage and deal that damage to a character.
Oh.
We didn't use it before because it was expensive. But
3 cost is ridiculous.
But
yeah,
in the current state of the game, 3 cost isn't, as unridiculous. It's not as ridiculous as it was maybe 2 sets ago.
Mm-hmm.
And it's nice because it doesn't say remove a character die showing damage. It says just remove any die, so those big vehicle hits can be taken away with this.
Because you got to think, right? I mean, if you really kind of think the game abstractly, you're thinking about net damage. It's not just damage you're doing to your opponent, but damage you're also preventing to yourself.
Right.
So doing a reversal on a 5 range damage is a swing of 10 damage.
Yeah.
Preventing 5 off of you and then dealing 5 to your opponent. That's huge. That's a huge fight of a game.
Yeah, you think anything over like a 4 swing is pretty good.
Did you say villain yellow or neutral yellow?
Neutral yellow.
Nice.
Neutral rogue uncommon. And it's legal in standard and in infinite. And Ryan Barger got some sick art on this card. It's got Boba Fett on it.
True.
He's looks like he's handling a bounty right there. This dude got a weird mouth that I'm not going to say what it looks like.
Now, there was one other answer. So Timothy over on our Facebook page had mentioned Jedi robes, which I've started to hear people talk about. a little bit again. I feel like it was very popular during Awakenings and then went away for the most part. Sith Holocron, which was the card for a really long time.
Yeah.
Like, it was the only way to really get, because you couldn't afford the blue upgrades. Like, you couldn't afford them.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about Sith Holocron for a hot second.
Let's do
Anybody who is a avid fan of our Price Watch,
there was a
blooper this week, and you know what? In all intents and purposes, everything we do with the Price Watch was working 100% accurately, because Untapped Games, for some reason, had accidentally priced Sith Holocron at $357 when we ran our Price Watch scrape last week.
Yeah.
So that brought the average up to like the most expensive card from Awakenings at $35, and everybody was like freaking out. And I was like, it's like, you made a mistake. It's like, we at the Chance Cube did not make a mistake. However,
we're just collecting the data, people.
Had we done more diligence and noticed that is most likely an error on that website's part, we should have reached out to them and said, hey, no one's going to buy that for $357. Anyways,
I can't believe it only brought the average up to $35.
Because seven other stores were selling it for $2. So,
okay.
It does skew the data just a smidge.
Anyways, continue, please.
So the other one that he had mentioned was use the Force.
I don't know. Use the Force.
I know that was actually the response that I expected to get when I read that answer.
Neutral Force starter set event 1 cost 1, spot a blue character, turn a die to any side.
How much is it?
1.
Oh,
we used to use that card all the time back in Awakenings. Like the best control card there was until something else came out.
Well, anything coming out is gonna, I mean, it's 1 card for some control, but it's not even removal. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, we might see some more of that played.
All right, Kim, last but not least.
So Rowan, he made a good point, because we were not specific as to if we had meant from the Awakenings block or from the Awakenings set. So he was kind enough to provide us an answer for both, which I appreciate very much.
Thank you.
So for the set, Luke Skywalker's lightsaber has always been a favorite of mine. I would agree. Like, that was a pretty good lightsaber for a while. It's got decent sides, 3 base melee, plus 3 mod, 2 shields, and its focus is pretty flexible. There have been games I've won off the unblockable, and games I've won because of the ability to special chain into shields. It's definitely overshadowed by other big hero sabers with redeploy these days, dagger, raise, hero, or heirloom. I was reading that as heirloom. Sorry, it's late, but it still has value in his opinion. And
we don't hear about unblockable damage much anymore, do we?
Mm-mm.
And I don't know why that's not a thing.
I mean, not many cards been made with it recently.
Because that's true. You're right. Not many cards have had it. You're right.
Well, I think events, right? A couple of events here and there, but it's really, I mean, the weapons with unblockable damage has totally kind of fall off the face of the earth.
Well, when Vibro got the nerf, that kind of put a damper on the whole unblockable thing. It kind of really changed the meta when it got that nerf.
And I think they wanted to make shields important again, so I'm sure unblockable is being treated very lightly.
Yeah, shields are a hot commodity, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Continue.
So as far as the block is concerned, he has said my ally is the Force. So it's a really great card in any blue deck with focus sides or sides that do 3+ damage without a cost.
Yeah, that's the card that lets you resolve a die without removing it from the field, I believe.
I think so.
Pretty solid. I played that in a Luke something deck, like in the Empire War era, and did really well with it. It's a nice kind of like, once every 4 games, like finisher card.
Yeah, 2 cost ambush, resolve one of your blue dice without removing it from your pool.
Yep.
So double you resolve
double
it
whammy.
Twice.
Yeah. It's good for focus sides or good for melee. Just that 2 or 3 melee and give that extra punch.
Yeah.
So cool. Well, thanks for giving some solid answers to the question this week. Always like looking back, especially with the rotation coming. And no idea what Infinite's going to look like, but we're sure going to be talking about it in about a month or 2 from now.
Mm-hmm.
Lots lots of development going on with Star Wars Destiny. The regional season's wrapping up here. We're getting ready to hear what the new World Championship thing is going to look like as the year progresses and the new season iron out and they try to realign what organized play for Star Wars Destiny looks like going forward as they continue to try to grow the player base or maintain the player base or whatever they're trying to do with the player base. But we'll be here, cover all of it. Thanks again for watching another week of the Chance Cube. Please like, subscribe, review, or however you're watching us, do the things that everyone else who does those things that you watch asks you to do.
That's a great way to end the show. Goodbye, everybody.
Head over to our Facebook page. The question this week, can heroes win without Yoda?
That's an interesting question.
Do.
Have a good week, guys.
This has been The Chance Cube, a Star Wars Destiny podcast, a non-profit organization dedicated to building community through gaming. Visit our website for all things Star Wars Destiny, including our Price Watch, Meta Tracker, and latest articles from the Chance Cube family. Find our latest videos on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit us at patreon.com/thechancecube. Your patronage allows us to grow this program and help us give back to the gaming community by sponsoring events, giveaways, and supporting our own community building initiatives. This is Mike Hill, the voice of the Chance Cube. Thanks for listening. The Chance Cube is not affiliated with Fantasy Flight Games, Lucasfilms, or the Walt Disney Company.